All the way from the start, I can feel it in my heart, like all the way from the start.
Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today's tutorial, we are going to be talking about sidechaining reverb specifically for a lead vocal. And we've talked about sidechaining in the past. With reverbs, this is a very effective method because I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that when you use kind of a bigger reverb, more of a washy space, you can get some buildup and it can kind of make the vocals really murky and just make the mix overall just sound really cluttered. Let's go ahead and dive in here. I'm going to play back this lead, and I have just got the lead aux run to another aux with our reverb on it. I've EQ'd that reverb just a bit, but I have the compressor off, which we're going to talk about in just a minute.
I was searching for something I could not find it myself. I had to reach outside, and now it's automatic. Truth above all the static.
Okay, so it's a cool reverb. You know, I like the space. It's definitely the sort of vibe I was going for. But again, you know, you can kind of hear, since we've got that longer tail, certain things are just starting to collect there, and it just is a little bit intrusive in terms of getting in the way of just the tonality of the lead vocal line. So what we've done is on our reverb aux, you know, following an EQ, which if you're curious about how to EQ your reverbs, we talk a lot about doing that precisely. I'll put a link to that. We're then following that with a compressor at the end of this reverb aux chain. And so that's this compressor here. And what I've done is in the sidechain option in Logic, I have gone and I've selected our bus or our aux where I am feeding that Vox lead as well as the backing track that's just kind of brought down here, feeding both of those into the sidechain input of the compressor. Whenever the compressor is identifying that signal from the lead, it's going to apply compression to our reverb signal. And then as soon as that vocal, you know, drops down below the threshold or goes away, then we'll get the tail of the reverb. Now, so I want to turn that on and now listen to what this effect does for us.
I was searching for something I could not find it myself. I had to reach outside, and now it's automatic. Truth above all the static.
All right, so you can hear as soon as we enable that sidechain compressor for our reverb, we get a much more upfront, clean vocal tone. But then again, as soon as we have, you know, some of the spaces where that signal is dropping off, then the compressor's letting off and we're getting the nice tail, the nice space of the reverb. You can also experiment with the attack and the release times as well so that you can, you know, manipulate when the reverb is going to be attenuated by the compressor. So let's say if we did a slower release time, it's just going to be less instantaneous in terms of, you know, how that compressor is letting go of the signal.
I was searching for something I could not find it myself. I had to reach outside, and now it's automatic.
So same thing with the attack. If we want to, you know, just have a little bit of the wash at the beginning.
I was searching for something I could not find it myself. I had to reach outside, and now it's automatic.
And the same goes for our threshold and the ratio. You know, if you want to have a really dramatic sort of, you know, pump or pull back on the reverb, then you can adjust that. I've got a pretty heavy gain reduction going on this whenever that signal is going above the threshold, but a lot of different creative possibilities with this technique. And you're going to find that you can also use this in different aspects of your production. I like to use this on snare drums so that we can get that, you know, front end transient of a snare, but then get a nice big reverb tail. And you're just going to find that these are going to translate so much better on a lot of different speakers, especially small, you know, headphones and phones, things like that. You pick up on this overly washy sound when we start using big reverbs. And this technique is just going to clean up a lot of space for you in the mix. We can still retain the vibe, the feel of the space we're creating with our larger reverbs. So I hope this is helpful for y'all. If you have any questions about using compression, sidechain compression specifically on your reverbs, feel free to leave a comment below. If you learned anything in the video, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing. We'll talk to you soon.
Wake up a new day, we call it a win. If the last song was 7, then we going for 10. Don't do it for attention or to mention intervention. Like a 8-8 beat, ain't put it all on the table. None of us is perfect, that's a fable. Bring your troubles to the most high and lay it up. Always got you covered if you willing and you able. How many days we got?